Connor Bedard will play the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. The red-hot Maple Leafs. We'll see how him and the Blackhawks will do as massive underdogs. We'll also touch on two more games, NHL player props, best bets, and all kinds more stuff here on PuckTime, powered by WagerTalk TV. We have two big deals to discuss here today on the show. Looking forward to diving into those. But Carm, good morning to you, my friend. How was your weekend? We didn't talk too much.
Oh, Andrew, sometimes that's a good thing that we don't talk too much and we save it during the week, because I know that there's some guys that just love to hear us chit chat about absolutely nothing on the show. But yeah, November's done. We're in December, man. December is here. Snow tire season for those of you that get snow. I'm going to get mine done on Tuesday. But yeah, only 3 games on the schedule, but there should be 3 good ones nonetheless. The Devils and Rangers, as you mentioned, Chicago and Toronto. And then we're going to finish it off with Dallas in Utah. Utah fresh off a 6-0 win in Vegas, which was the last game of the 6-60 on Saturday. Only, and I say this because, Andrew, normally if someone said to you, how would you like to go 5-1 with the 6-60? You'd be like, I'm great with it. The one play that lost on the 6-60 was a play I had for clients, the St. Louis Blues, a money line where they allow a goal in overtime on a breakaway. The only loss of the NHL weekend. So I'm a little disappointed with that. But 5-1 for you guys who followed along in the 6-60, and a very good 14-4 in the 6-60 the last 3 weeks. So if you're not following along, you should be while it's hot before I hit one of those 0-6 ones. Andrew, it's got to get worse before it gets better. I said this before about the New York Rangers, and they're a dog at home. The Devils -125, the Rangers +105. Shesterkin and Markstrom are listed as the right now as the projected goalies in this one. How are you playing this one?
Well, Carm, I'm personally frustrated as a fan because I watched the Canadians just absolutely blow away a chance to have a good game against the Rangers on Saturday. And the reason why I bring that up is because I still don't think the Rangers are back. But having said that, sometimes you need to play a bad team that's going to give up on certain games. You need to play a team that is going to give up goals like the Canadians do. And that's exactly what happened for the New York Rangers. And they were able to get a win they certainly needed, and they got back on track. They scored a handful of power play goals. Their big name guys scored some goals. But as you mentioned, we got 2 good goaltenders in this game in particular. And I think this is still a New York Rangers team that I think is struggling to score. I think is struggling to create offense. I think right now, these guys like Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider, the top guys, I'm not buying it that putting up 4 goals on the Canadians over the weekend, 3 of those being in the power play, I'm not buying that that's going to change their offense as it speaks right now. As it stands, this is an offense that I'm still a little bit worried about. Now, you look at New Jersey, and I get it. They've been involved in some high-scoring games. Their most recent game had 11 goals. The game before that had 9 goals, and I completely get it. But, Carm, I'm looking towards the under 6.5 here. There's 2 ways that rivalry games usually go. A shit ton of goals or not that many goals. And I think this is going to be one of those very tight checking defensive games between 2 teams high up in their division, a very important pivotal divisional matchup. And I think goaltending will be huge in this game. So I hope we're on the same page here. I think it's going to be a good game, a close game, but I also think under 6.5 is the move in this one. Give me the under.
I don't blame you. I'm not going to touch the total in this one, but I definitely don't blame you. Listen, I like this Rangers team as a whole. I just don't like the way they're playing right now. And, and then you get, the management talking about players who are available to be traded, whether it's, I think we discussed this, whether it was on the show or offline last week, or whether he's just trying to stir something up with the players in the dressing room to get them going. It happened with the Dallas Stars a few years back, where management said and isolated 2 or 3 players, saying these guys need to be better. But you look at them and you look at their last 6 games. They lose 3-2 at Calgary, they lose 6-2 at Edmonton, which was a bad loss for them. Come home, lose to the St. Louis Blues. Again, a game in which they were never really in it, even with the coaching change there. Lose at Carolina, lose at Philadelphia. The Philadelphia game, they didn't even show up in the first period. They looked absolutely, how the Flyers only won 3-1 in that game is beyond me. And then they come home and they barely get by the Montreal Canadiens. And this is not a slight on the Montreal Canadiens, Andrew, or you, the Canadiens, but they barely get by in that game. It's another game that very well could have gone to OT and they probably would have lost. It is tough for me to, even though they're at home, to say that a team that is 1-5 their last 6 games, yet still in a playoff spot because they sit in 6th place in the Eastern Conference because of their good start to the season, that I want to even take them at plus 105 at home. I don't. I'm only going to take a team once they start to look better, and they haven't shown me signs in their last couple of games that they're getting any better. Can they win tonight? Of course they could win tonight, but plus 105 is not enough to get me on the Rangers tonight. So give me the Devils minus 125 in this spot. Andrew, thoughts?
Well, Carp, like I said, I think it's interesting because, like I mentioned, they beat the Canadians. I was frustrated watching that game, and I'm not going to hide that was certainly a game that I was being a fan. I think that you look at the metrics, you look at the numbers, and the Canadians probably deserved a better fate in that game. But, Carm, sometimes would you say that out of a losing streak, you kind of need one of those games? Like, they play a team like the Canadians, one of the worst teams in the league, and they kind of just squeak out a victory. They scored with like a minute to go in regulation, because sometimes when you're in a streak, a losing streak, they were in a 5-game losing streak. The game that you break out of that losing streak isn't necessarily going to be a dominant victory. It's not going to be a 5-2, 5-3 victory all the time. Sometimes I think that, like, when you break out of a streak, it's going to have to be one of those type of games like what New York won on the weekend. But for me, I'm just kind of looking towards the under because, again, I'm not buying into their offense, but I still think they're a good defensive team. And they have not one, but 2 good goaltenders. I think people don't give enough credit, again, to Shesterkin and Quick for being that great goalie tandem that they have. And I think especially for New Jersey right now, it's a little bit contrarian taking it under in any of their games based on what we've seen the last 2 games out of them. 22 goals combined the last 2 games that they've played in. So definitely something worth mentioning, or 21, I should say. So, Carm, we still have the Thanksgiving special available at WagerTalk.com. I believe it's for another day or 2. So $69 for a week of all sports, all access, all plays. And then, of course, we have the Cyber Monday deals. So that's great. Code Cyber25. Take 25% off instantly. And we recommend this for more so longer term stuff, whether it's like even 30-day, 90-day. If you want to join us for, a selected period of time, let's say, you're interested in the soccer card coming up this weekend. You also are interested in the UFC coming up this weekend. You're also interested in this. You're better off using Cyber25 promo code. Just get yourself that package all in one and not buying these individual plays.
Yeah. One disclaimer on that, Andrew, is, and for you guys out there who want to take advantage of the Cyber 25, is that's on regularly priced packages. Whether if someone has a deal on for like double sports and it's already been discounted, you don't get 25% off of that one. So it's regularly priced, whether it's a daily package, whether it's an all access package, anything from 1 day up to 365 days. So if you want a 1-year Carmine Bianco all access, you can get 25% off of that. I would say you definitely want to pick up that one, Andrew. So Cyber 25, it's a great deal on, like I said, regularly priced packages, daily packages, all access, anything from 1 day up to 365. So, Andrew, I saw Johnny Detroit pop into our chat. He's like, who's going to be the new Detroit coach? Because I think the leash, if he hasn't been fired yet, he should be fired, much like I mentioned last week. Lalonde, rumors are that the leading candidate is none other than Joel Quenneville, who will make his way back into the NHL after everything that went on. I like him as a coach. Let's put everything else aside. I like him as a coach. Any thoughts on Quenneville?
I think that the right steps have been made. Obviously, I don't know a ton of the details. I haven't it's again, you're like you said, Carm. It's a hockey related question, so I think that's what they need. They need an old school guy, and I think he fits in really well in Detroit. And I think I'll continue to say this. I don't know if Johnny's still in here listening right now, but I'll continue to say this. I think Detroit rushed their rebuild. I think they signed a couple free agents that were a little bit older. They signed some older guys when they were trying to win now, when they should have tried to win in 2 or 3 years. And because of that, they find themselves in a little bit of a funk right now because they don't really know what they are. Are they in a rebuild right now? No, because they signed all these older free agents. But are they a playoff team right now? Not really. Last year, they probably would have been if Larkin didn't get injured. So it's definitely time. It's time. Johnny's right. You're right. They need to fire the coach. And it's more so a perfect example of a shakeup, a mix-up, get somebody new in there, get an old school voice like Quenneville. And if you look at the team that he had success with the Chicago Blackhawks, Carm, doesn't it look kind of the same? Like it looks like a little bit the same here, like a mixture of younger players that have been around the league, doing super well. And then you got the veteran players as well that are leading this Detroit team right now. I feel like Quenneville would fit right in. I wish there were betting markets for this stuff. I really do. I mean, Montgomery going to St. Louis, the second that the St. Louis fired their coach, we would have known that would have been like a minus 1,000. He was going over there. But yeah, I think Quenneville would be a good fit there. And right now, the Atlantic Division actually is looking very top heavy, just like it has in the past years. I'll throw it back to you with this for our next game, Carm. Would you say the Metropolitan Division has been more competitive than the Atlantic? Because many people thought the Metro would be much weaker than the Atlantic. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the Met. Well, there's the one team that is thrown their ball into the court or their puck into the corner, which is the Washington Capitals. They're playing some great hockey right now to start the season. They're going to need like those defensive lines, that first defensive line, and even that second defensive line to hold up all season long, because it kind of fuels that team. Goaltending wise, I think they're good goaltending wise. They'll eventually get Ovi back, and I've got Andrew. I got a great stat, or not a great stat, a great odd thing about Ovi in a second. But you look at, I thought New Jersey would be a much better team this year. They're doing exactly what I thought they would do. And hopefully my future's on their team total points and Sheldon Keefe to win the coach of the year comes in, although the Washington's making a great case for their coach in that one. The Rangers are going to turn it around at some point. So, and Carolina is Carolina. Carolina's always going to be one of the top two teams in the Metro. So it is what the other teams do there. The New York Islanders, or as people in our chat call them, the Thailanders, seem to love to go to overtime and pick up points, blow third period leads. They've been great at that. Pittsburgh Penguins, I'm not sure. I don't think the Pens, I'm sticking to my prediction they don't make the playoffs this season. That team, they've got to ditch some salaries and get some youth into that squad. So we'll see. It's definitely better. I think the Metro is definitely better than the Atlantic as far as competitiveness in that one, Andrew. Here's an interesting stat for you, Andrew. Um, Joe Theismann, Alex Smith, and Ovechkin, all Washington superstars. Okay. Do you know, or Washington stars? What do they all have in common?
I have no
Anyone?
idea.
Anyone?
I have no
Bueller?
clue.
Bueller? Each one of them fractured their legs on November 18th. Think about
Weird.
it. Joe Theismann, Alex Smith, and Ovechkin, each injured on November 18th. If I'm a player in Washington and I got a game on the 18th next season, I'm like, Listen, I'm gonna sit this one out. So it's an odd stat that I saw on TV the other last week, and I thought, wow, okay, that's kind of odd. But with that said, we got the Chicago Blackhawks and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Leafs 420 minus 420 plus 320 on Chicago. Looks like Stolarz and Soderblom. Andrew, we talked about this. Joseph Wall and Soderblom are looking like a good goaltending combo for them. But we see this each and every season from the Toronto Maple Leafs that they get high on their goalies, and then playoff time comes around, and it just doesn't pan out. This is a spot where Toronto needs to just keep on winning. They're doing a fine job of it right now. Yeah, they dropped one against Florida, but they played a great one against Tampa Bay. I'm just going to take the puck line in this one. I don't know how to play this game. The only way for me to bet it is the puck line on the Leafs, but I don't want to lay a lot of vig either. So it's either a pass or the puck line, I think, are your only two options in this game, unless you're dog hunting and you want the Chicago Blackhawks. What about you?
Carm, for me, like, look, Chicago is a team right now we kind of have to pick our spots with. They went on a pretty good run where they were playing some decent hockey. They put up 6 goals against the Stars. They competitive against the Wild. They were competitive against the Flyers. They were competitive against the Panthers. This is a team that's going to be super up and down, and obviously they're right there at the bottom of the NHL for a reason, and they just lack scoring depth. It's a real big problem for them. However, when I look at this Maple Leafs team and you look at them over the last many, 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 many years, what has been a common theme for them, Carm? Struggling to get up for games like this, right? Monday night, Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, and they have to try and get up and get excited for a game against one of the last place teams in the league. It's been very hard for them, and even under Craig Berube, that new head coach, there have been some spots where they have shown a little bit of, lack of detail, lack of attention to some of these bottom place teams. And I think I look at Chicago here, they're playing second half of a back-to-back, all right? They did not play very well yesterday, giving up 6 goals against the Blue Jackets. They're going to want to get back on track. And when I look at this Maple Leafs team, they're coming off back-to-back games against their Florida opponents, and those games mean a hell of a lot to them, Florida and Tampa Bay. I like the over 6, Carm. This team's been pretty good defensively. I get it. The goaltending tandem's been good for Toronto. We'll see if they show up and how focused they are in this matchup. I think Chicago gets a few themselves, and I think Toronto will certainly take advantage of some tired legs in that second half of a back-to-back with the Chicago Blackhawks. So I'm going to take the over 6 in this one. And I also think that certain teams that are a little bit younger and the weaker teams like Chicago, those are the teams that are impacted the most by back-to-backs, not as much the elite teams. Those teams don't really seem to be too bothered by back-to-back. So over 6 to me is the play here. And have you heard the rumors that they might be looking to trade one of those goalies, Carm, at the deadline? I thought that was a little bit crazy with Toronto. I think it's good to go into any playoff with 2 goalies. But yeah, I saw there were some rumors that Stolarz or Woll could actually be traded at the trade deadline in the new year. So it's never a dull moment, man.
Yeah, no, I think that would be a mistake if they did that. Andrew, you need two solid goalies, and which is what surprises me with the Rangers' recent struggles, because you have Jonathan Quick, you have Igor Shesterkin. By the way, Quick is 2 wins away from what is it? I think it's 400 wins. I think he has 398 wins or something like that. He's 2 wins away from a milestone as far as wins go. I think it's for 400. To my point of the Leafs puck line tonight, if they don't take the Chicago Blackhawks lightly, in 13 games at home this season, the Leafs have covered the puck line in 9 of them. You'd be up 9.35 units if you flat bet the Leafs on the puck line at home, a 66.55 return on your money ROI number for the Leafs on that stat of the puck line at home. So we'll see what they do tonight, Andrew, in this one. But to your point, they always seem to take the teams like the Anaheim Ducks last year, the Arizona Coyotes, Chicago Blackhawks take them lightly. I think they lost both games to the Blackhawks last season. So that is one that you definitely want to make sure. What's his name? Berube wants to make sure that they play these teams tough, because 2 points is 2 points. It doesn't matter that it's a non-conference meeting. You want to collect those 2 points because they need home ice this season. They need the number one seed in the Atlantic. Whether they get it or not remains to be seen. But you avoid what has happened to them over the years, where they finish second or third in the Atlantic and they play either Tampa Bay or Boston in the first round and then get bounced. So they're looking to avoid that. Andrew, we need some props. I know it's a short card, only 3 games. Give us some props before we finish it off with Utah and Dallas.
All right, Carm, I've got 3 props for today. Although just 3 games, I found 3 props. 2 of them are plus money. And then the last one, I'm going to be a little bit of a chalk-eating weasel with this player prop for a player to get a point. Before I jump into these 3 props, guys, again, Cyber Monday, WagerTalk.com. If you're watching this on X, you're watching on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're watching it, make sure you check out the crazy good deals right now at WagerTalk. Flash sale, 1 day only, 25% off any longer term packages. You guys can take advantage of those, and has to be a deal that's not already on special. But for my full season stuff, my 30-day, 90-day, whatever it may be, you guys can take advantage. Big plays in the NFL, big plays in the NHL, NBA. Get all of those plays at a really good price. Cyber25 is the promo code to use. Take advantage of it, guys. Like, honestly, you're better off taking a week or 30 days than you are buying individual plays daily. I want to see show up on my sales report 30-day passes, 90-day passes, not a bunch of 1 days from you guys. You guys can join me longer term across all sports. Let's jump into the player props here. We have Timo Meier from the New Jersey Devils. This one in particular, Carm, is a player that just seems to play better when he's on the road. And I know he's not really taking too far of a road trip going to Madison Square Garden, but he's not at home in New Jersey. And this is a guy that seems to match up well when they put him in these situations. He does well on the road, and he's gone over 3.5 shots on goal in 5 straight road games. And some books are giving you a plus 125 price tag on this number. I can't pass it up whatsoever. I'll look towards Timo Meier from the Devils over 3.5 shots on goal. The next one, we're going to go to the Toronto Maple Leafs and Chicago Blackhawks game. We're going to go to John Tavares, over 3.5 shots on goal for him. And this one is a matchup bet. You know, sometimes it's recent form, sometimes it's home, sometimes it's on the road. Well, Tavares has gone over 3.5 shots on goal in 4 straight meetings against the Blackhawks. And I think that with Austin Matthews back now, takes less pressure off him, and it actually opens more things up for Tavares. I don't think Matthews coming back takes shots away from Tavares. I actually think it helps him out, creates more availability, and takes pressure off him, which will help him go over 3.5 shots on goal. And the last one, Carm, I mentioned it would be a little bit chalky here. We're going to go with Wyatt Johnston from the Dallas Stars to record a point tonight. It's minus 155. They're getting the Utah Hockey Club off a big, exciting win on Saturday night. But I think still they give up a ton of chances. They lack a little bit of defensive capabilities in their own end, and Wyatt Johnston is the kind of guy that will take advantage of that. His price is minus 155, but he has a point in 6 straight games. I can't ignore this. This is a guy we have to have on our bet slips tonight. We'll take Johnston from the Dallas Stars to record a point over Utah, and hopefully soon to be named the Utah Yetis. Back to you, Carm.
Utah Yetis. We'll see what they get named. We'll have our own contest. I think we'll put a poll up. I think we could put a poll up on the live chat later on in the season. I think they know what they're going to name the team. They just haven't announced it. Won't announce it until the end of the season or the off season. So we'll see how that goes. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about. We're talking about, and I know this is a hockey show, but guys, how about Bills Mafia yesterday? Come on, man. In the snow, in Buffalo, they absolutely crush the 49ers, send them home. the fans, it was incredible. The fans didn't even have seats to sit in because the seats were still filled with snow. Josh Allen gets a passing and receiving TD on the same play, Andrew. Fantasy football, you pick up points for a passing and receiving TD. Only the fourth player to ever do so in the NFL. Mariota was another one of them. So yeah, what a game! But with that said, how do you go from Bills Nation to talking about Utah now? I gotta do it. So Dallas Stars minus 135, Utah plus 115. Andrew, I'm going to make this easy on myself. This is one of those ones, guys, where it's a goalie dependent play for me. It looks like it's Vamelka in goal for Utah. That's not what I'm worried about. It looks like it's Casey DeSmith who's going to get a spot start for the Dallas Stars. After a strong start to the season for Casey DeSmith, and strong with a grain of salt, his last three games, the Dallas Stars have trailed after 20 minutes in the game, 2-0 to Anaheim, 2-0 to Chicago, 1-0 to the Florida Panthers. And in that last game, 6-2, that crashed the ladder challenge when he was a sieve, Swiss cheese. If he starts tonight, I'm taking the Utah Hockey Club plus 110 money line first period. So goalie dependent play. Casey DeSmith gets named as a starting goalie. I'm on Utah plus 110. Andrew?
Yeah, and Carmine, I don't blame you. A lot of these have to be goalie dependent, waiting on some of these lineup announcements. But I said earlier on the show that sometimes back-to-backs mean something to me and sometimes they do not mean something to me. And in this particular situation, I'm not bothered by the back-to-back situation. I think that we see a 6-0 victory in Sin City for the Utah Hockey Club. And I just do not think they're going to follow that up with a big performance. They've been doing some traveling as well. Take a look at their schedule, a couple home games, a couple road games in a row. But, we saw them on the road against the Leafs, on the road against the Canadiens, on the road against the Golden Knights, on the road. I mean, this has been a busy, busy schedule for this team. I think the Dallas Stars have the edge tonight. Even though they're tired, I will wait for goaltending information, just like you mentioned. I think they're the team to look for. And I feel like this is one of those teams that I don't want to use the whole fat and sassy angle, but I feel like you're going to be feeling pretty good after beating a team like Vegas 6-0 the way they did. Let's go ahead and take the team total for the Dallas Stars up and over 3.5 goals. Playing some good hockey right now. Busy schedule for them. We're going to go over 3.5, though, for them to keep things going. As they're playing some pretty good hockey, and this is kind of the team that I want to ride right now. So it is interesting, Carm, because you see a team like Utah, right, put up 6 goals, look good against Vegas, and you ask yourself, is it a team I really want to go against? But, is it a team you really think can put up back-to-back good efforts? That's the kind of the thing for me that I look at like this is, when a team plays so well like that, I feel like if you didn't bet them at the time, you kind of missed your opportunity. And you mentioned Utah in your 6-60. I mentioned Utah in my every game on the board video. So we both liked them on Saturday. The question is here, how will they perform after that big victory? And I guess we'll find out. We'll see, man. We'll see if they can do it.
We will see, Andrew. So listen, 3 games tonight. It's tough sledding on these games tonight. There are some really attractive prop bets, and then we've got NFL football. So we still have plenty of action tonight on the card. I know that WagerTalk did send a tweet out on the weekend, but for anyone that missed it, even though they are a competitor of ours, Mitch from Pick Dogs passed away. Condolences to that family there as well too. Johnny said it's Johnny Detroit who has been the brainchild of this of the WagerTalk brand since it first started. Said, fiercest competitor, but mutual respect. So again, just wanted to pass along my condolences to the whole family there as well too. Andrew, small slate, a couple of games for me in soccer this afternoon that I really like. Those are up right now. I'm going to have a small hockey card as well too. If you use that Cyber 25, you can get the 1 day all access and get all the plays, including the NFL package that should be up. It's a plays and props pack that will be up shortly as well too. A great deal, 25% off using Cyber 25 off any daily package or any 1 day to 365-day all access package. These are regularly priced packages, nothing that's been discounted already. Just want to make sure you guys know that. My best bet's going to be the last game we discussed. I'm going to take Utah in the first period plus 110. Hope that it is Casey DeSmith in goal for them, and hope that Utah builds off of that 6-0 win against Vegas in Vegas. That was a huge win for them, and like I said, capped off a very good 6-60 this past weekend. So that's it for me, guys. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll send it over to Andrew to give us a best bet. Let us know what he's got up at WagerTalk and close out the show.
Carm, let's have a winning day, man. Let's start the week off on a great note. And don't be celebrating that Bills Mafia victory too hard here tonight, all right? It's only a Monday night. Don't be celebrating too heavily. But for me, guys, again, we have a great package going tonight in multiple sports, actually, hockey and NFL. But that Cyber Monday deal is great. You know, Cyber 25% off a package of your choice. I recommend 30 days. Go to my page. Go to 30 days, type in Cyber 25, get that huge discount. I have an NFL totals play going tonight, 7-1 run with NFL total bets. Also have a team total play tonight in the NHL. Looking forward to that. So should be a really good day tonight in the NHL and hopefully NFL as well. Under 6.5 Rangers Devils, my best bet for the show. Two talented teams, but also two rivals that I see a good defensive game and also some great goaltending between these two. So hoping for a good battle there, and hopefully we can have a great Monday show and cash some tickets for you guys. Best of luck, guys. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the show. It helps us out big time. Make sure if you are not already subscribed to our channel right here on WagerTalk TV. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow right here on PuckTime.